When you allow an unlimited number of ADUs in low-density districts, you can end up with immediately noticeable negative impacts. You could double the level of density nonconformity, and you could displace over a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, maybe 3 dozen. We don't know how many parking spaces.
These are from RH2 multi-unit buildings, more than 2 in there if you wanted to, but would it be appropriate? I'll show you another building that's also in the RH2. It's about 12 units. It's got a pass-through along the side that a pedestrian can walk through, and then it's got this for the cars, and then here's the back, the overhead. It's got all those garages there. It's got a courtyard, and this is a carport that belongs to that building. So, and they were filled when I snuck back in there and looked at it and then got the overheads.
It'll be like saying all single-family homes with garages could convert their garages to bakeries. Now, granted, we don't have a shortage of bread in San Francisco, but let's say if we're going to have a shortage of bread, maybe, like the planning department was going to, push for more bakeries, and people with garages in single-family homes could ask for bakery, their garages being converted. So this is as ridiculous as that.
Hi. I think you know pretty much what I'm going to say. We need housing. If we had a shortage of bread, then it might be a good idea to convert garages into bakeries. But we have a shortage of housing, and so it might be a good idea to turn some of those garages into housing for human beings. I think this does bring up a question of livability. And I am really upset by some of the things that were said earlier here today, and I don't have a notorious reputation for always being so nice. So when I say I'm upset, I'm really upset. Livability is a really fundamental question here. Where are we going to live? Where is my generation going to live? Okay? Where are my kids going to live? My entire generation is stunted by the chronic housing shortage that has been brought on by people who can't stand to have apartment buildings in their neighborhoods. And that is an outrage. And yes, we may have buildings that will literally not look any different on the outside, but have more units of housing on the inside. They will look the exact same. So why do you care what's happening inside of somebody else's building? Why do you care if more human beings can live in safe units up to code where we could have more families joining our community and maybe run a few more bus lines and maybe get back to work rebuilding our transit infrastructure? Maybe making this an integrated city where low-income people can live and work, where we have mixed income communities, mixed race, and mixed ages, instead of becoming an increasingly whiter and more fragmented society where we have vast areas of the city that are zoned single-family home that are deliberately designed to be exclusionary and keep people out of their neighborhoods. I live in Noe Valley, and it is very interesting to me that some of my neighbors think that we shouldn't have more apartments in Noe Valley, that we shouldn't have more garages converted into housing where people could live. I am your neighbor. Why do you not want me and people like me to be welcome in your community? We have an opportunity here to build a lot more housing in our existing neighborhoods that have kept people out for far too long. And yes, this is contrary to the purpose of zoning, because the original purpose of zoning was to keep people out of neighborhoods, and it is time to stop doing that.